you doing today? We're going to review our complemento de objeto directo. We have been working with this lesson in my courses, so here we go with a second look. As you know, we are going to replace this, instead of calling it all the time complemento de objeto directo, we're going to go and say COD. So here they are. You have me, the first one is referring to the first person of the conjugation, me. The second one, we're talking the you, which is the informal as we know it. So here we go with tu. In this case, te will be the one that we're going to be using. Remember, the object pronouns are going to replace those nouns that you see in the sentence because it's going to help us to simplify the sentence. So we got lo. Lo, it's going to be for him and for it, both in the masculine. Him or it will be lo for the object pronouns. Now, la, it's going to be for her and also for la in the feminine, and they're going to be singular. The plural for the masculine is going to be los, and we're going to use it for people or for objects. We also have las, people, objects in the feminine version for the plural. And the last one on the list is going to be nos, and that's going to be for us. As you can see, these are the ones that you use in English, and if we want to use them in Spanish, there they are. We're going to learn few things about these object pronouns. Refers to people and objects. That's the good thing about this COD. When you have it in a sentence, you can use it for people or for objects. These characteristics make the COD strong because it can refer to both people and objects. Now, we are going to find this COD right after the verb. You're always going to see it as the verb is punching that object pronoun, and that's how you're going to identify it, because once I give you the examples, you're going to see that there are going to be too many words, and I don't want you to get confused. You're going to see what comes right after the verb, and that will be your COD. That will be the object that you need to replace with these pronouns. When we have only one verb in the sentence, and we call it the main verb, of course, you're going to use those pronouns and you're going to place them before the verb. One verb, one option, and that's where you're going to put these pronouns. If you have two verbs, when you want to place them, you're going to do it after the verb, and then you're going to create a full word, a longer word than usual, and that's because you're going to attach the COD to that verb. But hear me now. If you have two verbs, it's going to be a second option for you, and that is to attach it after the verb, okay? You cannot put it before the second verb. No. Two options only. One verb, you put it before it. Two verbs, you put it right after the verb, okay? Once you identify the object pronouns, you're going to choose from the list. You're going to go with me, te, lo. Depends on what the gender and the number of the noun is. So we're going to see some examples now, and we're going to try to identify them. Here on the first sentence, I have la profesora prepara las lecciones. You must identify the verb, and then what comes after the verb is your object pronouns, your direct object pronouns, because it comes right after the verb. So you're going to see prepara the verb, las lecciones will be the object that you're going to be replacing. Los estudiantes van a tomar. Notice that I have two verbs here. So right after the second verb, I see el examen. That will be the object that you're going to be replacing with the pronouns. On the third one, estoy bañando. It's a conjugation that has two verbs, but I still have the object right after it, which is al perro, and that will be the one that I'm going to be replacing. On number 4, mi esposo está cocinando. Again, I'm using present progressive, and una lasaña will be the object that's going to be replaced. And the same scenario is for number 5, which is not the way we say it in Spanish. I don't say me llamaron, llamaron a mí. I have to use the COD because this sentence is simply to make you see where the object is and how you need to replace it. So let's go to the next slide and see what we have. Some of the answers, right? The answers in the sense, like I have it highlighted. Prepara will be the verb. Las lecciones, the object that you're going to be replacing, okay, in the yellow. The second one, clearly. Van a tomar, as I say, you have 2 verbs. In the yellow is the object that you're going to replace. On the third one, estoy bañando, 2 verbs because it's presente progresivo, and al perro in the yellow is what's going to be replaced. Same thing in number 4. Una lasaña will be your object, the one that you're going to replace. And number 5, a mí, that is the person that you're going to include once you replace it. Now, if I go to number 1, las lecciones, you gotta remember that it's a feminine and the plural. And if you do not understand all the words, you don't remember the meaning of all the words, the fact that you have las is telling you already that you're talking a feminine in the plural. Same thing in number 2, el examen. Let's say you don't know what examen is, but el is telling you what the gender is and what the number is. So you're dealing with a singular in the masculine. So these sentences show you in the yellow the COD and the gender and the number of each one of them. So pay attention to that. And what I want you to do is I want you to create the answers, which I'm going to show you in the next slide. But I want you to create the answers, replacing with the pronouns based on these objects, how you would put it and where you would put them, okay? So take a few minutes and do it, and we're going to check the answers. Okay, so you identified already the objects, right? So let's put these pronouns in action. Okay, here we go. Number 1, your answer should be la profesora las in the yellow. As I showed you in the previous slide, the yellow is the object that you were supposed to replace, Now it's being replaced. You know, we are rewriting these sentences using the pronouns that we are learning in this lesson. So I got la profesora, las being the COD now. Prepara is the verb, one verb. So I'm moving now from the previous example. You had prepara las lecciones, but now because I'm using the pronouns, las is going to be before the verb, and that's how you have it. Las prepara. Okay? Para la clase is going to stay because I don't have anything to replace. Though I see more nouns, they're going to stay there because that's not what I'm replacing. I'm replacing what comes after the verb, as you saw in the previous slide. Let's go to the next one. Los estudiantes, lo. Lo is el examen, as you saw it on the previous slide. El examen is a masculine, is singular. The pronoun that I'm going to choose from the list is lo. I'm going to place it before the main verb. What is my main verb? Van. But if you want to, because you have 2 verbs now, you can place it right after the verb as it shows at the end. And I put that little lo in yellow, so you remember the yellow is my object. And now it looks as in lo because I'm using the pronoun from the COD list. Okay, mañana is going to stay because I need it to indicate when I'm going to do these things. Lo estoy. Lo is the dog. Remember, al perro. is going to be placed before the verb. Main verb, estoy. I got it like that, but I also have another answer, which is estoy bañándolo. Okay? The lo has been attached to the second verb. And what I want you to notice also is, because I'm creating a longer word in Spanish, I have to put an accent. And the best way to remember is, where the accent goes is once you place the COD, once you attach that pronoun to the verb, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, accent. Okay? Even if you have more syllables in the word, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, accent. That way you're not going to miss it. But this is only when you add or attach that pronoun to the verb. Okay, number 4. Mi esposo la. Remember, mi esposo was making a lasagna, so la is that lasagna. I can place it before the main verb está, or I can place it after, cocinando la. And the last one is mis hermanos me. Now me shows in the sentence. A mí is gone. Me is there because I'm using the pronouns, and it's placed before the verb because I only have one. If I had two verbs as I had it in the previous sentences, it would have gone after the verb, but in this case, one verb, one option, and your pronoun is right there. Okay, so this has been the lesson for direct object pronouns. Check it out. You can play it all over again. Remember, this is a second look. The first look is given in my courses, so you can review that lesson. This is a support to that lesson. And I hope all the examples that we used give you a better idea on how to use direct object pronouns. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you later. Hasta luego.